So we have seen ups and downs in U.S.-Pakistan relation in recent past. What kind of confidence-building measures are being taken to avoid mistrust between these two countries? My second question is, there is upcoming elections in Pakistan. We already spoke a few days ago. Will U.S. Sending independent observer to monitor the general elections in Pakistan?
I'm not aware if a decision's been made with respect to sending observers. With respect to your first question, we will continue to engage directly with the Pakistani government, as we do at a number of different levels, and we will continue to engage in people-to-people contacts with Pakistan, who we consider a close partner.
Thank you. Thanks so much, Matt. Wall Street Journal reported this morning that the U.S. and Saudi Arabia had agreed to a broad strokes plan for normalization with Israel. Any veracity to that? And where are we in that process?
I saw that report. I think it vastly overstated the reality of the situation. We continue to discuss the possibility of normalization of relations between Israel and Saudi Arabia with Israel. The Secretary has traveled personally to the region to discuss this. There are a number of matters that are under discussion between the three countries, and we'll continue we will continue to work towards that aim, recognizing that it's a difficult, it is a long and difficult process, but I think the reports that we have reached some sort of agreement vastly overstate where things stand. You follow up on that? Yeah.
It's just a different topic.
Oh, sure.
Ethiopia.
Yeah.
I think this might have been addressed briefly before, but the situation in Amhara, the Ethiopian military today is saying that it's defeated fighters there. I mean, does the United States have any information on the humanitarian situation there, and any general comment about where things have gone there?
Let me take back the question on the humanitarian situation and see if we have any details that we can provide. And with respect to the situation, obviously we're concerned about the violence. It's a situation the Secretary discussed in his call with the Ethiopian government last week.
Can I take you back to Pakistan?
Yeah.
The cipher cable, supposedly, that's been reported. I know that you've had some on-record comments on this, but I wanted to ask you about the veracity of the comments. It's obviously a Pakistani document. Does the United States generally think that what was reported there was accurate?
So a few things. One. Yes, it's a report reported to be a Pakistani document. I can't speak to whether it is an actual Pakistani document or not. I just simply don't know. With respect to the comments that were reported, I'm not going to speak to private diplomatic exchanges, other than to say that even if those comments were accurate as reported, they in no way show the United States taking a position on who the leader of Pakistan ought to be. We expressed concern privately to the government of Pakistan, as we expressed concern publicly about the visit of then Prime Minister Khan to Moscow on the very day of Russia's invasion of Ukraine. We made that concern quite clear, but as the former Pakistani ambassador to the United States himself has stated, the allegations that the United States has interfered in internal decisions about the leadership of Pakistan are false. As we've stated, they're false. They've always been false, and they remain false.
Just to pursue that briefly, I guess the money quote in that was saying that Pakistan would, or that Imran Khan personally would have continued isolation because of his visit to Moscow. Is that? Can you explain that in terms of? I mean, if we take that as given that was an accurate comment, what that meant?
So without stipulating whether it's an accurate or comment or not, if you take all of the comments in context that were reported in that purported cable, I think what they show is the United States government expressing concern about the policy choices that the Prime Minister was taking. It is not in any way the United States government expressing a preference on who the leadership of Pakistan ought to be.
Well, look, Matt, just you can go. I think what I'm hearing is that essentially the substance of this report and the purported Pakistani cable back to Islamabad is accurate, but you're saying that but it is not the U.S. saying that then Prime Minister Khan should leave office. Is that correct?
close-ish. I cannot speak to the veracity.
Close-ish.
Close-ish. Then I'll explain what I mean.
Ish.
I'll explain what I
understand
mean by
that's a
close-ish.
fine, that's a diplomatic term. of
Exactly.
art.
I'll explain what I mean by that, which is I cannot speak to the veracity of this document.
Okay.
What I can let me just finish. What I can say, let's even if those comments were all 100% accurate as reported, which I do not know them to be,
Yeah.
they do not in any way show a representative of the State Department taking a position on who the
Okay.
leadership. They're commenting
But
on.
you can
on-
understand, though, perhaps you can understand why other countries might think when the U.S. weighs in, even in a way like this, that it is taking a position on it. So, I mean, I can think, name like 5 or 10 leaders who the United States has sought to oust, including some that it has been successful in ousting, although not only after military invasions. So, you know, it's not an unprecedented thing for a country to think that the U.S. is trying to pressure it into, or trying to make its views known about who it thinks should be the leader of a country, right?
I will say that I can understand how those comments, number one, could be taken out of context, and number two, how people might desire for them to be taken out of context and might try to use them to advance an agenda that is not represented by the comments of themselves.
And do you think that's what's happening here?
I think a number of people have taken them out of context and used them for political
Intentionally,
purposes. I won't speak to intentions, but I think that's what's happened.
Thank you.